Councillors and gallery, thank you all for attending today. It's our statutory meeting. I would like to notify the gallery that it was delayed for the extra week, and that was mainly due to the state election to give us time to get through that. So I'd like to open the meeting and welcome everybody to this meeting of Council for the 30th of November 2022. I will go through the agenda and to start with the prayer. Almighty God, be with us as we work for the people of the Shire of Moorabool. Grant us wisdom that we may care for the Shire as true stewards of your creation. May we be aware of the great responsibilities placed upon us. Help us to be in all our dealings, and may our work prosper for the good of all. Amen. I would like to go through the acknowledgement of country. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting. I pay my respects to their elders past and present, and the Aboriginal elders of other communities who may be here today. I would notify everybody in the meeting that this meeting is being recorded and is also being live streamed. We are quite honoured to have a former Mayor and Councillor in attendance today, with Councillor and Mayor Michael Tudbull in attendance today. And I'd like to welcome you to this statutory meeting. Thank you. Apologies, councillors. We have one apology, which is Councillor Tatchell, and our thoughts go out to Councillor Tatchell today. Councillors, does any councillor have a conflict of interest in any of the items on the agenda today? No? No? Councillors, we will now move to the business listed in the agenda. The first item is to receive the former Mayor's report. Councillor Sullivan. I invite Councillor Sullivan to present the report on his period as Mayor from November 2021 to November 2022.
Thank you, Mr Acting Chairman. It has been my honour and privilege to have been Mayor of Moorabool Shire over the last 12 months. I have enjoyed the opportunity to be Mayor, not only for the last 12 months, but also for the year before as well. To carry out the role as Mayor, I've enjoyed the support of my fellow councillors, and I thank each and every one of you for your support. I'd also like to acknowledge the support of my family, and particularly my wife Teresa, who has not only supported me in my role as Mayor, but also as a councillor over the last 26 years. Without the support of your family, one cannot be an effective councillor. When I first became councillor in 1996, our youngest child, Sean, was the same age as our two oldest grandchildren, so it just gives you an idea of the time that I've been in this, associated with council. The Shire continues to grow, with the population being about 36,000. This growth was actually reinforced to me on a personal level. Just when we were advised earlier this year, there were 506 new births in Moorabool Shire, with an expectation that this would continue to grow continue to be the same into the next year. People see Moorabool with its diverse housing options as a desirable place to live and raise their families. This growth has also been challenging, but Council has been up to the challenge. As a Shire, we were aware this growth was coming. Previous Council laid the groundwork for managing this growth, and this Council has continued with the strategic planning work to cater for this growth, ably led by a very talented CEO, Mr Derek Madden. Derek and his staff have managed to bring a number of strategic projects to completion or gain funding for future projects during this last year. Over this year, we have seen funding announcements for further work at the Bacchus Marsh Racecourse Reserve, Bacchus Marsh Indoor Stadium, ongoing work on Aqualink, upgrade of the Navigators Recreation Reserve, the Land Library, gas installations at Parwin and many more. I've also participated in the sod turning at the Land Recreation Reserve and Darley Park Reserve. I believe there is an acknowledgement in government circles that Moorabool Council is a can-do council and can deliver on projects. Moorabool is backable. During the balance of the term of this council, There will be many more projects completed that will add to the overall well-being of our communities across the Shire. There are still some major ongoing challenges for Council: the AusNet overhead power line issue and the eastern bypass at Bacchus Marsh, to name two. Council has been actively involved in both these issues and is positively promoting better outcomes on behalf of the community. With close proximity to larger councils, we lose a number of talented people seeking to advance their careers in local government. We also attract some very talented young people. I see Moorabool as a place where talent is rewarded and where the community benefits from this. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Diane Elshaw for her support and assistance. Diane has ensured that my diary was always up to date. Speeches for upcoming events were always available. Thank you very much, Diane. Very much appreciated. As I said, there will be challenges going forward. We are well placed and with very talented staff and capable councillors to be able to meet these challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow councillors, thank you very much.
Councillors, I have a recommendation that the former Mayor's report for the mayoral term November 2021 to November 2022 be received. Councillor Minari, and seconded Councillor Ward. Councillors, I now call on any of you who wish to express appreciation to the outgoing Mayor for his term in office. I'll call on Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Councillor Sullivan, I'd like to thank you for not only this year but last 2 years as Mayor. As always, you have full respect for the chamber and you ensure that you drag everyone else along kicking and screaming to respect. Not only that, you've been a really great Mayor for across the whole Shire. I've had nothing but positive people from Bacchus Marsh. How dare they like a West Moorabool councillor as the Mayor, but they do. It's just indicative of the way you've carried yourself. You always put Moorabool first, and I'd like to thank you for that. Councillor Dudzik, as a Deputy Mayor, you've done a terrific job this year. As always, you're one of the strongest advocates for Moorabool that we could find. You always ensure that everybody knows who Moorabool are and what they're about, and there's not a person in this room that I think could challenge you for wanting to ensure that we move forward. So well done to you too.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards, Councillor Ward, and then Councillor Minari.
Thanks, Mr Chair. I also want to pay tribute and recognising outgoing Mayor Tom Sullivan. I actually first had the pleasure of meeting Tom in 1998, so looking at that board, I think that was his first term as Mayor. And since that time, I've long had admiration for Tom and the manner in which we served Moorabool, tirelessly, with dignity and commitment for over 25 years, which is just incredible. There is no greater honour than serving your community, and Councillor Sullivan has done that as a councillor and as a Mayor for such an incredible period of time, and it's a true tribute to you and your community spirit, Tom, so thank you. And I can also speak as an incoming councillor. The last 2 years, it's been a pleasure to serve under you, and we've appreciated and benefited from your experience and your wisdom. So thank you very much, Tom. And pardon me, I also want to thank Councillor Dudzik for her term as Deputy Mayor. Also admired Councillor Dudzik for 10 years now serving her community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just keep it a bit short. Thank you, Tom, so much. You continue to show your professionalism and guidance every time that we gather. I love our chats on the phone or in the meetings. I think our talking about sheep often is quite enjoyable. So thank you very much for the last 2 years. It's been wonderful, and also congratulations to Tonya too. It's been a wonderful year working with you, and you're also always passionate. Always. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Tom, I saw that in a Mayor in you with no faults, and I remain to see that in you, Mr Mayor. I've witnessed a Mayor that lives up to the standards of what a Mayor should be over the last 2 years. Fair, great listener, great talker and great advisor. I have learnt a lot from you, Mr Mayor, and I thank you for your 2-year term. Councillor Dudzik, thank you for your year as Deputy Mayor. Your dedication to your constituents is to be commended. Great job.
Thank you.
Councillor Dudzik.
I'd like to congratulate Councillor Sullivan. You're a fantastic mayor. You're fair, hardworking, dedicated. You're always out there advocating for Moorabool, doing the best thing for Moorabool, and yeah, you're fantastic, so thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dudzik. If I could just say a few words myself on behalf of the organisation to Councillor Sullivan, to give you an example of how Councillor Sullivan is held in the organisation. We were having a meeting the other day and the point was raised and we actually turned around and said, well, we need to ask Tom because he will actually know the answer. So his breadth of knowledge for everything in the organisation is second to none, and the support I've received over the last 2 years in particular when Tom as Mayor has been with some challenges in the point of view of funding and everything else. Tom has backed the organisation, and as Councillor Edwards has said, for the whole of the Shire, not just wards, and I think the proof is in the pudding when we actually look at how successful we have been over the last 2 years. So thank you, Councillor Sullivan. I would like to take the opportunity now to present Councillor Sullivan and his wife, Mrs. Sullivan Therese, a small gift. Thank you on behalf of Council. So, councillors, we have one final piece of business before we get down to the main piece of business, which is the election of the Mayor, and that's really to determine the term of office. So, councillors, I seek a motion to appoint the Mayor for either a 1 or a 2 year term, and I put it to the floor.
I'll move, Mr CR, that we'll appoint for 1 year.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Second. All those in favour? Thank you. Okay, councillors, we will now move to the election of the Mayor for 2023, and I would now like to call for nominations.
I'd like to nominate for the position, Mr Chair.
Councillor Berry.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I would like to nominate for the position of Mayor, Mr Chair. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to nominate for the position of Mayor.
Councillor Dudzik. Thank you.
I would like to nominate for the position of Mayor. Thank you, Derek.
Councillor Minari. Thank you. I have to go to the last page for this one. Thank you. Councillors, I will now put each nomination to the vote, and we'll start with the with Councillor Ward. Councillor Ward, all those in favour of Councillor Ward? Councillor Berry? Councillor Dudzik? And Councillor Minari. So, councillors, we did issue some guidance to councillors in this scenario that were issued yesterday. So the way in which we proceed now is that we will use the lot system because we have 2 councillors on 1 vote each, and the process is to draw a lot out of the box, and the candidate that draws the lot that says defeated is excluded from the next vote. Okay, so I'll ask Celeste, whichever way you want. And Celeste will bring the box and we will go in alphabetical order.
It's a blank piece of paper.
Just check that the other piece says defeated.
Oh. Thank you. Yes, it says defeated. Thank you.
Thank you. So, councillors, we now have 3 nominations for the role of mayor, and we will follow the same sequence as we did previously. And it was Councillor Ward first, I believe. So, Councillor, I will put each to a vote. So, Councillor Ward, I'll put to a vote. Thank you. And that was Councillor Ward, Councillor Minari and Councillor Edwards. We have Councillor Berry. We have Councillor Berry and Councillor Sullivan. And Councillor Dudzik. I have Councillor Dudzik. Thank you. So, councillors, as I mentioned yesterday, we need an absolute majority for the election of the mayor. And what we have currently is 1 councillor on 3 votes, 1 councillor on 2 votes, and then 1 councillor on 1 vote. So, as per the process, the councillor with the least number of votes will now fall away from the election process, and we will now have the final 2 candidates for the election. So, councillors, we will follow the same process again, and we will go to Councillor Ward, and I ask for all of those councillors who nominate Councillor Ward. Okay. So we have 4 votes for Councillor Ward, so Councillor Ward receives the majority vote. So I will declare Councillor Ward elected as mayor. I would ask that the Councillor Ward will now retire to receive the mayoral chain and the robes of office, and will join us again shortly and have the privilege of taking this seat. Thank you.
Thank you very much to my fellow councillors for this great privilege. It is a great honour to serve the community, and it's been a great honour, well, it is a great honour and privilege to be elected Mayor of Moorabool Shire Council. I grew up in a family in regional Victoria, and I was very lucky that I grew up in a very community-minded family, and from a very young age I was taken by my father to the Lions Club or the sports club events and working bees, and he instilled in us a sense of community, and it is a very satisfying pursuit. Since moving to Bacchus Marsh in December of '85, I've been heavily involved in community groups, the community for about 35 years. And I've also been very lucky in my professional life to work with a lot of community volunteers right across the Shire and our 64 townships. And I've built a lot of friendships up with them, and I promise to be a mayor for the whole of Moorabool. I mentioned earlier I want to pay tribute in recognising outgoing Mayor, Councillor Tom Sullivan. It's my goal as Mayor, Councillor Sullivan, to serve to the high standards that you did and serve everyone fairly and show the energy and passion for the Moorabool Shire that you've showed over many, many years. Also want to thank Councillor Edwards and Dudzik and Councillor Paul Tatchell, who's absent tonight. I've admired them from a distance for their long history of community service. And as I mentioned earlier, Councillor Minari, myself, and I'm Councillor Berry, I'd say we've appreciated and benefit from your experience and wisdom. So it is a great honour, and I look forward to serving the Moorabool Shire Council over the next 12 months. In closing, I also would like to thank my family, as Councillor Sullivan did, for their support of me to allow me to serve in the Moorabool Shire Council the last couple of years. So thank you very much. So moving on, we'll go to item 7.5. where we will elect a Deputy Mayor. So, councillors, the Council should now resolve whether it will make an appointment to the office of Deputy Mayor, and if so, for what period. Therefore, councillors, do I have a motion the Council establishes an office of Deputy Mayor for a period of 1 or 2 years?
I move that we establish a Deputy Mayor for a period of 1 year.
Moved Councillor Edwards.
I'd second that, Mr Chairman.
Second, Councillor Sullivan. All in favour? Carried. Councillors, I now call for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor for the 22-23 council year. I'll repeat the instructions that the CEO gave earlier and call for nominations, and if we have only one nomination, I will declare that nominee elected. If there's more than one nomination, we will repeat the election process. So I call for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor. Councillor Minari.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to nominate myself.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No further nominations? Councillors, in the absence of any other nominations, I declare Councillor Minari Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll move to the next item of business, which is council reports. Item 8.1, the first report on tonight's agenda is titled Mayoral and Council Allowances. Councillor, do I have a motion? There is a recommendation enclosed within your documentation. Do I have a notice of motion?
I'll move that. Councillor Edwards, move on.
I was just going to move with one additional point, if I may.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mr Mayor. So I'd like to move the recommendation with the third point that says that Council provide a further report or a report to be delivered to Council within 3 months detailing the Victorian Independent Remuneration Review dated the 18th of December 22 and any benchmarking against similar councils.
Okay, so we have an amended motion. Is there any seconder for the amended motion?
I'll second that, Mr Chairman.
Seconded.
Yep.
Councillor Sullivan, all in favour? Declare carried. The second report on tonight's agenda is titled Council Meeting Framework and Meeting Schedule. There is a list of meetings in your documentation and meetings for the next 12 months. Councillors, do I have someone to move that motion?
Happy to move the recommendation.
Councillor Dudzik. Seconded, Councillor Berry. All in favour? Carried. Councillors, officers and members of the gallery, that concludes the business for tonight's statutory meeting of council. I look forward to working with my fellow councillors, the executive group and the community in achieving our goals and objectives from our council plan over the next 12 months. And I would like to invite you all to stay on and enjoy the hospitality provided tonight. I declare the meeting closed.